Stick around for this episode of the Tunepact Podcast, where our guest is Jeff Brown from Stoner Games.
Hey, it's Jeff Brown. Stick around, guys.
Welcome to the Tunepact Podcast. I'm your host, the punk rock pop, Lee Pierce. And on today's episode, we are talking with Jeff Brown from Stoner Games. Jeff, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Lee. How about you, man?
I am doing good. So I don't think people realize, well, once you hit a certain age, you kind of age out of video games. Well, most people think culturally. So they don't
Yeah.
realize the importance of music in video games. I mean,
Yeah.
our generation definitely did. We came up with all of them. I mean, or, all the game systems. We've known them since Commodore, through Atari, Nintendo, up into this PlayStation and PC games and stuff. And I mean, it wasn't even until late 90s or maybe 90s you really started seeing bands getting into it was always ambient music, or it was instrumental, or just something digital noise for the background. You didn't really see music getting into it until probably the late 90s, and then it started taking off. And that's why I wanted to have you on here, because I mean, to me, I think video games are the new movie soundtracks,
Absolutely.
because it's a new way to, because back when, now everything's just streaming. So movie soundtracks don't really even mean anything anymore. You're just going to find music where you find it. Because it used to be, the movie would come out, you'd have two bands you knew and three you didn't, and you'd get the soundtrack and you'd find all these great new bands. And that kind of, like I said,
Yeah.
went to the side once streaming started. And now you're really seeing it with video games. I mean, Jesus, like we talked, like, I mean, the freaking Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack, like, started its own
Yeah.
revolution, for Christ's sake. I
Absolutely.
mean, I'll work with bands that are like, they're kids. They're like 20 in their 20s, and they'll be covering something like Lit. And I'm like, how the hell did your dad listen to them? And they're like, no, from whatever soundtrack. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, I forget about that.
That's
So
cool.
like, so you're a game developer. You're also a musician, record label. Which kind of led into which? Have you been doing kind of all of them, or how did you get into all of it?
I've been into music since I was a kid. Same with video games. But I knew I wanted to make video games when I had my Commodore 64. Like that's the reason I became a programmer, was because I wanted to make video games. And I kind of played with it on and off, making them professionally. But the first time I actually got paid for doing anything that was video game related was like in the 2000s for a game show that was supposed to be hosted by Bob Eubanks. It was just a pilot. It never really got anywhere. It just did like 3 shows, but it was just awesome. I was hooked.
That's really cool. So, tell us a bit about your newest game that you just released, Mosh Pit Mayhem.
Yeah, Mosh Pit Mayhem is just an ode to hardcore music, man. I came about because my buddy Dan Freilich is the bass player in a band called 187. They're one of the featured bands in the game, and Dan's been one of my best friends since like junior high school, all throughout high school, and I just wanted to find some way to promote his band in a game. At first, it was going to start as like a cartoon mosh pit type kind of thing, where like it was going to start with like Steamboat Willie because he's now public domain. But then
He could still be in an update. That would be great. I would
it'd
love to
be
get in
awesome.
there. That would be awesome.
Yeah, so it started as that, and then just one day I went outside and I was smoking a joint, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I put real bands in it, and then you got to fight in the mosh pit while these bands are playing. And then it hit me like, well, shit, why not have the bands jump off stage and you got to fight the bands? And then it even evolved into shit, why not? You can be any of the band members to mosh in the pit and run around and just wreak havoc. So
Yeah, it is a seriously unique game, because when you first think about it, when I first heard about it, I was like, so you're just kind of crowd killing with the band playing. I'm like, okay. And then I started digging into it more because of client of mine, mutual friend, Radioactive Chicken Heads. Or
yes,
that's how I first learned about the game. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Then when it came out, because all I ever saw was the preview and everything, because I was there when it first came out. So I bought it, I think the day it came out, and I was like, oh, this is way more than just, it's not, you're just crowd killing. It's got the whole, even the start up where you got the different vendor booths and stuff, and you
Yep.
got to get your ticket. You get to choose what band you want to listen to, who you want to be, and then and then it's got different venues and locations where the concerts happen, and
Yes.
there's the band you choose up there on stage, and you could choose to be the guests or the players as well. And I mean, this is the best compliment ever. It total like I'm pushing 50, so this game's right up my alley because it totally gives me like PS2 Def Jam Vendetta kind of vibes,
Yes.
that where it's got that, just you're just killing, you're slamming, and you got the musicians there with you, and it's got kind of that similar kind of even graphic feel to it too. I love it so much. I cannot stop bragging about this game. And then tell you do
Awesome.
so
Thank you.
you didn't just release all the bands, because how many bands are there total, or will there
Uh,
be?
r- there will be 50. We launched with 18. We add 3 to 4 a month. So this we've added 3 months, so nine. There's what 27, 20 something like that. 27 game bands in the game right now. But yeah, three to four bands a month, and we have some pretty big bands coming up. Some fairly big name bands.
Yeah, just had we're filming this in February. Just had was it Let It Rot, Belushi, Speedball, and Gas Station Boner Pills, two of who have been
Yes.
guests on my show. Belushi and Boner Pills have both been on my show. So yeah, it's a really great game. So was it the musician in you that wanted to really take it the way that you did? Because like you could have just, you could have found a way to feature 187 and that was it, and nobody would
Yeah.
have thought anything of it because it was your own idea. What really made you want to take it to where you are, where you're constantly doing updates with new bands every single month?
Well, I just thought, how many bands are there these days? I mean, there's bands everywhere. It's not like when we were young and, you go down to like here in Vegas, it was Odyssey Records. You go down to Odyssey Records or Tower Records and see what was new coming out. I mean, there was no internet or anything. So it's, there's so many bands now. It's so hard to find a good band because there's so many. I thought, why not push cool, new, up and coming bands in this game that are in that genre, oh, and some that are that have been established, that have been around for a long time and have quite a following.
Well, and that's the thing too, is it's not, even though it's Mosh Pit Mayhem, it's not all just heavy bands either. There's more fun, like there's fun stuff like Gas Station Boner Pills and Radioactive Chicken Heads. I mean,
Yes.
you've got, there's death metal, there's hardcore, there's some reggae stuff in there.
Yeah, a
Like, I mean,
little bit of
it's
reggae and
awesome.
hip hop.
Yeah, well, I mean, so it's awesome. I mean, you think you can't mosh to that, but you can. It's got a different vibe to it, but it's a lot of fun because, again, you're getting to see artists that wouldn't normally. How many of the people that are in the game even have heard of each other? Is the other thing,
Oh,
and that's the
probably not
best.
many.
Yeah,
Probably not
because you're
many.
kind of getting to just build your own playlist that you want to see. You're kind of get to build it for you, but it really gives access to, like I said, you get to kind of gatekeep your own in a good way. One time gatekeeping actually works when you're trying to get you put your own soundtrack for a game together.
Yeah.
So how difficult was it? I know the answer to this because I still know the answer to this. We deal with it every day, but the listeners don't. How difficult was it to find bands to sign on to do it and actually get everything done and together for you to use?
Oh boy, that was pretty difficult. The hardest part is collecting all of the face shoots and the likeness photos, and it's very easy to get them to sign up, but it's collecting all the stuff that's needed to produce it is very, very difficult. Everybody's busy. Everybody's they're practicing, they're on the road, they're doing a show. Everybody's got something going on.
Well, what's your advice for what's your advice for other game developers that want to get, just not obviously not build it around a band themselves, but just
Yeah.
have the music in the soundtrack? What advice do you got for developers to find those bands and get them on board.
To find bands, boy, to find music. I don't know what I would have done if it hadn't been for, the what the game is about. I would say probably just reach out on social media. There's a ton of Facebook groups for independent game developers, and I see posts in there maybe 3, 4 times a week of an artist looking to get their music in games. And likewise, I see the other as well, where it's an independent artist asking, I mean, an independent game studio asking, is there anybody that does music? Please send them my way, or where can I find them?
Well, and yeah, we see it from both sides because I've got clients that I got into the game, and
Yeah,
I see both sides of it, and it's just so weird because not even weird, I guess, because it's all different industries, even though it's all entertainment industry. Everyone forgets that it's still just one industry, and like if you're an artist and you want to get your music into games, just start cold calling, just start sending emails because the game developers are the same thing. They're like, I don't know how to get artists. I need music in my game, and the bands are like, I don't know how to get my music into the
yeah.
game. They just got to make that connection.
There's a couple artists that'll be in not this coming month, the month after, and the month after that. There were a couple artists that reached out that I decided were, wow, they're a really cool artist. They should be in the game.
Well, and it's when you have someone come to you that always, it's going to be, it's probably not always, because sometimes it's ego that makes them come to you first. But most of the times, it's going to be an easy work relationship. Because if they're excited and motivated and
Yeah,
want to do this, and they're coming to you like, hey, can we do it? All right, cool. You're not going to be hemming and hawing for weeks and weeks trying to get paperwork filled out or replying to messages and stuff like that. And that's one thing. Oh my God, this is basically another episode about networking. Is if just you got to make those connections if you want this stuff and answer your fucking messages, people. It is the worst thing. I assholes. Asshole. Don't be an asshole. Don't reach out and say, "Hey, what did I?" And then people will reach out back out to you, and then you don't reply. You don't. It's
yeah.
you got to follow up. You've got to if someone gives you something to do, if you don't want to do it, then say that. Don't just leave them on red. It looks unprofessional and it's really frustrating. Oh my God,
Yeah,
it's so
it's enough to piss you
frustrating.
off for sure.
Well, especially when, I mean, a lot of people work with deadlines, and it's not necessarily, even if it's just a cold call, there's still a deadline, something on the end of that. Whether it's your update, you want a band, and you got to have them all lined up and ready to go for whatever month. And
Yeah,
if they're not going to do it, then you need to reach out to somebody else, but you don't want to reach out and then this person get back to you, and now you're kind of the dick. Because I mean, yeah, you maybe didn't need to wait as long as they didn't need to make you wait as long as you did, but there's always the good and the bad with all of it. So please, lesson of the day, answer your messages, just reply. And I get it though. I got so many different messenger programs and crap. I keep notes of who I talk to on which ones because
yeah.
some people, they don't get, they don't get text or they don't get IG messages and stuff like that. All right. So, well, we're talking about like your next game. I don't know even what it is yet, but
Yeah.
are you going to be looking at how are you going to find um bands to do that one now that if it's not a music based game? How would you go about if you had to do your own A&R and didn't
Well,
have your buddy helping?
the next game's kind of centered around music. About let's see, how can I put it without it's about frequencies basically. More than anything, it's about frequencies. Um, that's really all I want to say right now. But yeah, it's still going to be geared around types of music, types of audio. Um, but I don't know. I think most of the music will probably be made by myself, by me and Dan, I would say more than anybody. Might bring some other bands in because it's going to be more of like an atmospheric type soundtrack.
back almost to more like what originally it used to be before everything started getting soundtrack heavy. Almost it was
Yeah.
because it's like you're like Mosh Pit Mayhem's its own. It's not even in the same realm with the other games, but a lot of games they seem to how many bands can we pack into the soundtrack, and that's their hook. And I mean, I remember, like I said, that changed like around. Is it would probably say what like '90s is when that really started to make the change? Because I remember, well, shit, that's
Right around the
how,
PlayStation era.
yeah, because that's why, I remember, God, I think it was Al Jorgensen from Ministry. I think it was him that said something about if it wasn't for video game, it was video games that made Rob Zombie bigger than him because
Okay.
it was all the game soundtracks, and Al Jorgensen's like, what the hell happened? All of a sudden this copycat of me is more famous than I'll ever be. What happened? And I remember he blamed video game soundtracks. There almost used to be like it wasn't a real, like it was like it's any less of an art form than a movie or something. I don't get it, but
Yeah, I guess it used to be, but now, I mean, video games make more than the music and movie industry combined. So, I mean, I don't remember the statistics, but it's like leaps and bounds. It makes more money than the two combined. So, I mean, I've always wanted to make games, and now here I am finally making them. And I mean, it's great because now there is a lot of money in it. Back when I was younger, I really don't think there was a whole lot of money in it. Like in the Commodore 64 and Nintendo, maybe the Nintendo era started to take off. But like the Commodore 64, I had a ColecoVision. I loved the ColecoVision. Um, I mean, one of my favorites was Donkey Kong and Smurfs back when I was a little guy. You know what I mean?
I always liked Atari, Pitfall, and honestly,
Yeah,
the ET game is still one of my favorite. I have dead Atari ET tattooed on my leg. I
that's
actually love
funny.
the Atari ET game. I don't care what anybody says, but yeah, no, I get that. Atari was my favorite growing up, and well, and that's the thing too. We grew up long before everything went to PC as well. Like there was, I mean, computer
Yeah.
games weren't what they are now. Now a lot of them go just to Steam. They don't do um
Yep.
Sony or anything like that.
Yep.
So I think that made a huge change because, well, like you said, I mean, there was no money in it when we were growing up, but that was because you probably had to pretty much live nearby and work on site at one of the companies that were doing it. Because it's not like anybody
Yeah.
was. There was a place online that you could share your games. Nobody was
Yeah.
making cartridge. Nobody was making cartridges in their fucking garage. So no, there wasn't money. That's why there wasn't a whole lot of money being made. Or now you can do the entire thing from your house. You run your
Yeah.
entire empire from your house and never have to leave. I mean, how great is that?
Yeah. I mean, I've got a motion capture suit and everything. So a lot of the motions were captured by me or by a friend or family.
That's really cool. So, what's been between music and gaming? What's been one of your just kind of favorite things that has happened that if you weren't in the industry that you are, it wouldn't have happened? Whether it was someone you got to meet or just what's a fun story?
Um, let's see. I wrote down a couple of them here. Let's see. Let me look at my notes real quick here. Um, I don't know. My one of my favorite experiences, and this is kind of back in the PlayStation 1 era, when the PlayStation 1 first came out. Um, I was in college. I was working full time as a tech fixing pacemakers or machines that make pacemakers, and I took my paycheck. I went and bought a PlayStation 1. I bought Resident Evil because that game looked just absolutely amazing. And I went and got an ounce of weed. And all I did was just sit at home and smoke weed, play Resident Evil all weekend. And it was like amazing because there was nothing like it at the time. Like that survival horror, scary, creepy. It was fucking awesome, and it was fucking awesome.
That's real. That's really cool. God, I could my favorite gaming stories would probably are so lame. I'm not even honestly probably getting to play honestly I'm not even just pulling spoilers, but Mosh Pit Mayhem getting to play as gas station boner pills was probably my one of my favorite gaming moments ever because they're my favorite band. I was able to get them help them get into the game. So getting to play as Sean in his
Yeah,
stupid
the
fucking top
drummer.
hat just made my day, and getting to hear their
Yeah,
music, that was honestly because that was another like so I get why you enjoy gaming though, because even getting to be a part of that, doing the A&R on that side of it, helping both of you and getting them into the game and being my favorite band, like I could always say that was because of me. Like I helped do
yeah,
like that's a really cool
that's
feeling. So
cool.
like I get why you game and the stuff that you create the way you do it. You're just making shit you want to see. And I
Yeah,
think that's where the best art comes from, whether it's music or paintings or photography or movies or video games. When people just make stuff because they want to do it, I mean that's the best. I mean, when your target audience is you get to find out if there's more people like you out there. Sometimes it's a
nah, true.
gamble and a loss. Sometimes it's not. So it's cool to see you making stuff that you want to make. Even what's the frog game? Um,
Frogger?
no, the one yours. The
Oh, my frog game. Oh, totally lit.
yes, that's so goddamn fun too. Like you just got these fun like it's just a stupid silly little but it's so funny. It's just I mean I just love seeing people having fun, especially nowadays. Everything just it's scary out there. So being able to just lock yourself inside, get on listen to some fun music and play fun games is really cool. Well, what your band? Tell us a bit about that. Talking about
Oh,
fun music.
subliminal psychosis.
Yes,
Um,
tell us a little bit about that and how that started.
um, I I don't know. It just came about. The name came about in like 2021, 2022. Just kind of like just as a not really a joke, but just as kind of like a an idea, you know, hey, that's kind of a cool name. Um, and then just started, you know, writing down lyrics and coming up with ideas and that's it. Dan does most of the music. I do a lot of the lyrics, and singing and some stuff like that. But Dan does a lot of the more musicianship type stuff.
Now, is that something you guys put together for the gaming, or is that something you were doing beforehand?
It came up just a little bit before the game, but I thought, you know what, this is a perfect time to let this project come to life, you know? And since there's really only two of us as band members, we thought maybe we could do like Gorillas, where you just make up the band. Like Gorillas is just one guy, but
Yeah.
every time you see a video or anything about them, it's always the lead singer, the bass player, you know, it's always the whole band, the cartoon
Yo,
band, which is just such a cool idea. Such a cool idea.
it is. Well, and it's what is it? What's his name? He's
I'm not sure of his name.
he's the creator of Tank Girl.
Is he?
Also, I think
Okay.
so. I think it's the creator of Tank Girl is Gorillas, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember what his name is, but yeah. Oh. So, oh, I remember what I wanted to ask you. So, um, what's some of the things that you came across while trying to do Mosh Pit Mayhem that you will do different on your next game? Whether it's the creative process, the planning process, the launch, or what? What was something that you did
Oh, a
that
lot. A lot of that I would do different. There's so many things architecturally within the game. I was just learning Godot game engine, so architecturally, there's a lot that I would fix. Um, Secondly, definitely marketing. I didn't really do any marketing leading up to the game until maybe about a month before the game, which was just total bad idea on my part, but I was just so busy coding and developing that I just didn't have time to do marketing. A little bit here and there, maybe, mostly through the bands that were going to be in the game. Um, but other than that, I mean, I really kind of dropped the ball on the pre-launch marketing. So next game for sure, we'll do some ramp up and for sure get it out there a whole heck of a lot earlier.
Well, and I think that's a thing too that with game any soundtrack, whether it's game, TV, or film, is it's good because it's having bands involved. Especially, it's always good to be able to make your own music because then you don't have anything to worry about. But when you can get bands involved, it's cross promotion and collaboration.
Yep.
Because unfortunately, all marketing and all sales is based on social media now, and whether and that's where you're going to get your whether it's the wish listing for Sony or what it is or on Steam, it's all going to come from somewhere. Nobody's getting just on there. They're going to find it and be linked to it from someplace else. So everything is just about social media numbers. So when you've got 50 bands on the
Yeah.
soundtrack of your game, and that's cool because then every month you've got 3 to 4 new bands that can now help share that there's an update. And even if it's they've got 100 followers, well, it could be 100 people never heard of you.
Yeah.
So it can
Exactly.
always convert, and so it's really good. I push that so much. Collaboration is important, especially when you got the best chance to do it. And you've got artists that are excited and chomping at the bit because they want to brag they got in a video game. Not just their music for yours, it's their likeness. I mean, how many people get to be in a video game? That's cool.
Not many, not many at all. Dan was just saying the same thing the other day. Like, it's amazing that he's in a game. It's. I think growing up, I always wanted to be in a game. Oh man, I would love to be in a video game. I'd love to be a video game character. So for a lot of people, it's a dream come true. It really is.
Well, it is because it's up there with like I mean everybody. I think it's some amount wants to be a rock star or a movie star or
Yeah,
something like that. But most of us don't. We don't want to. Like it's hard to put yourself out there and stuff. But in a game, it's kind of the same thing. It's out there for the world to see, but it's not really you. So it's even cooler because I think that yeah, there's something about getting to be in a video game like that's really cool. That's really cool. Are you yourself in the game anywhere?
no, I'm not. I'm not.
What you need to put yourself in as an NPC or something.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said, but I don't know, maybe. Well, we're going to be getting you in there in this next update.
Yes, I wasn't even going to mention that, but yes, I am. I tell you what, my kids and my grandson think it's the coolest thing in the world. Especially my grandson. He's going to be 8. So, like, the coolest things in the world are like YouTube and video games. So, Pop Pop is a podcaster and he's going to be an NPC. Like, I win. I can slack off and I don't have to do anything. I win best Pop Pop. But yeah, so that's really cool. Well, the best is he sends me the sample images for the NPC, and he knows that we're jorts. And he's like, are these guys like, no, they got to be shorter. So he just puts these super short ones on. So now I use that and send it to my kids as torture when they're grown ass adults. So it's like a good kid. Well, so I sent that to my 19-year-old son when he's being annoying. I'm like, how do you like your hoochie daddy shorts? He's like, oh, stop it. So it's now become warfare, and I love it.
That's so funny, man. That makes my day, man. I love hearing stuff like that.
Oh my god! Well, the funniest things like I'm an old guy. I've played more games since meeting you and Radioactive Chicken Heads than I probably have in the last 10 years combined, honestly.
Okay.
And so it's funny like and when you're like, yeah, I'll be an NPC. I'm like, that's cool. And so I go to tell my kids, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be in a video game, and they're like, you gonna be an NPC? And I'm like, how is that cooler? I don't understand. You'd think a playable character would go, but man, they think being an NPC is the coolest thing on the planet. So that's
Oh, you'll
so
be playable
funny.
too. You'll be playable
Oh,
too.
oh my God.
Yeah, you'll be one of the skins you could buy.
Oh, gee, I didn't even know that. Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
man, you're gonna be a playable character. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Yes, so dream come true. This is, and again, I have to say, I have to thank again Radioactive Chicken Heads for putting us in contact because I'd had them on the show and they were a client of mine and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna be this video game." Like, let me see about it. I'm like, "Oh, this is cool." I was like, "This is cool." And I saw a few of the names and I'm like, "Oh, definitely. I gotta reach out to this guy." And now we
Right
talk on
on.
a daily basis. This the funny thing is
Pretty much.
we just realized the first time we've been face to face, though. We talked on the phone or we text all the time. This is the first time we've been face to
Well,
face, and since like Jesus, what October? I think we started working together October, November.
yeah, right around November. Yeah, right around the release.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was right after the release because it was right after the release because I remember I'd played the game a few times before I talked to you.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Well,
right.
that's networking. You always research first. That's 100%. There's an example right there. I wanted to reach out to this guy to talk to about his game, and I got. What am I going to do? Not play it? Come on. And I got to play as freaking Carrot Top for Radioactive Chicken Heads, which was absolutely awesome.
Yeah, Dan, my buddy Dan Freilich, he's the one who brought all the early bands on. Radioactive Chicken Heads,
Yeah, they know. Yeah,
obviously
they know him. They're. I
187.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had said they were friends, and that's how he first heard about the game. That's pretty cool. It's a small world. Well, it turns out, I know Paulie from
Yeah.
187. I'm not even going to tell that story yet. I've known this man, well, not known this man, but I've told a story about him for 33 years, never knew his name, I never had no clue, and all of a sudden found out that we're acquaintances and Facebook friends. I haven't even told him the story yet, so this is going to be
Oh,
great.
yeah.
Wait till this is going to be funny. But so what have you got coming up? I know you've got updates. This will be coming up probably sometime in March. So what's the like, you got planned like definite for like April or May updates or update on the new game as well?
Updates for Mosh Pit Mayhem will be going on until about September. That's when we'll hit about 50 bands. We do have to cap it at 50 bands though, because of licensing and royalties and paying and stuff like that. But we do want to do DLC at some point, which will add a pack of 10 bands or something like that in a DLC or something. Um, Other than that, the new game probably not. Well, I don't even think I'm really going to start in depth on it until probably May or June, maybe July. I've got some other projects on my plate right now that I'm trying to knock out, that are just consuming all of my time. So once that's taken care of, get back into the video game scene. Got to pay the bill somehow besides the video games.
Well, exactly. All right. So what else I wanted to ask you quick? Oh, so yeah. What advice do you got just for like one last thing for whether it's developers or record labels or musicians trying to bridge that gap? Because I mean, a lot of the time it is just cold calling and reaching out, but that's not easy for everybody. Like what advice do you got when it comes to trying to find the P? I know it sounds simple, like just do it, but it's
Yeah,
not, or people would be able to. You know, people have some social anxiety or like us Gen Xers, they got imposter syndrome and don't feel like they're good enough to reach out to people, whatever it may be. What advice you got to get over that hurdle and make those connections? Because, like I said, whether it's movies or video games, every filmmaker, every developer needs fucking music, even if it's just something digital on the computer, like the Mario type thing that goes with the
yeah,
movement, or it's a band based game like Mosh Pit Mayhem. There needs to be audio. So, and it's so important. Like, and there's, like we said, everybody can make it at home now. You can make your own movies. You can
yeah.
make your own games. You can make a movie in a fucking weekend and have it up on streaming services. It's just insane now. And with things moving so fast, what's some advice trying to get over that hurdle and make those connections?
I think it's something you said too. Just research. Find out more about who you're reaching out to. When I wanted to start making Mosh Pit Mayhem, I started thinking like, okay, well, what's it going to be based on? What's it going to be like? So I started looking for games that I could kind of model it after, um, like that. But I don't know. I mean, like you said, it kind of sounds cliche, but you just got to start. You got to start somewhere. You just got to start instead of just, I want to do this. Open up a notepad on your phone. Start taking some notes about, what you want to do or some ideas you have. Because then once you start acting on it and making it real, it tends to come to light a lot faster than just keeping it all up here.
Well, I think what you said is important too. Is if you want to reach out and you do have that social anxiety, or you think it's not going to be worth it because they're, like I said, the imposter syndrome, like they're just going to say no anyways, or whatever the case would be. Research who you want to reach out to, whether it's the game developer themselves. Everybody's you wouldn't know who they were if you didn't find them on social media, probably anyways. So look into them, and then it's going to make you more comfortable in reaching out. Look for something in their business, whether it's the gamer, the developer, or the filmmaker, or if you're the developer or the filmmaker and don't know how to reach out to the artist, look for something in them. Everybody's life is on social media now. Look and see if you see something like, hey, I've got something to offer them, and come to that. And if you can come into a new relationship and a conversation when you're trying to like cold call someone like that, and you have as much to offer as you're asking for, you have a way better chance of getting a reply too. If
Yeah.
they feel like, oh, hey, if like you're doing them a favor, not that, oh, I'm doing you a favor by content, not that kind of bullshit, but like if you actually bring something to the table and you're useful, makes it, that's a huge thing, and that's going to help you with your confidence too, because now you're feeling useful, you're feeling like somebody could, so if you, yeah, like you said, do the research. And I mean, it's worth putting in the time, because it's going to ease your mind, and it's gonna, and if they say no, well, that's all right. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to research. It's all up on how much you want to put into it, and the more you
Yeah.
put in, the more you get out, unfortunately.
Oh yeah. Man, we have a list of like 150, 200 bands that we were in contact with. And I mean, we got a lot of no's. Um, okay, you know, there's plenty more bands out there, you know.
Well, but how nice was it to get a no? Because how many of those 200 did you just never hear back from either? At least when you
Quite a
get
few.
at least the
Quite a
no,
few.
you could scratch them off and move down the list. Like we were saying, it just freaking reply to your messages.
Yeah,
All right. Well, Jeff, thanks again for coming on. Was a lot of fun.
was a lot of fun, Lee.
Like we said, just get out there, try to make those network connections. Look for like-minded people. Look for people who've been doing it. Look for other developers that have a lot of great music in their games. Or if you're an artist, look for other bands that have had their music in games, and say, okay, hey, how'd you do that? And just start asking, doing research. It's difficult. It's not easy, but you can do it. You really can.
Yeah,
So, Jeff, again, thanks for being on the show. Finally get to meet kind of face to face, whatever that
yeah.
is nowadays.
Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. So, you've got the updates coming up for Mosh Pit Mayhem. You're working on the new game. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you got to promote?
No, nothing really. Got some good stuff going, in the tents behind me. But other than that, no. I mean, the project that I'm working on, I wish I could share more about it. It is cannabis related, but that's really all I could say at this point.
Right. Well, Jeff, thanks again for coming on. Again, Jeff Brown from Stoner Games. Check out Mosh Pit Mayhem now on Steam. And
Cool.
more coming up. And everybody, as always, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Give me some feedback, good, bad. Like to know what I'm doing. And as always, please have fun and be nice to each other. Because if you're not, there's no fucking point. And we
Absolutely.
will see you next time.
Take it easy.